Batman, White Knight #7, Sean Murphy doing everything basically. So this is we actually finally sort of wrap around to the opening prologue from the first issue, which was Napier coming to Batman for help. In this issue, it's basically he has to go get help because they have to defeat Neo Joker, and oddly, kind of touching on a thing that Metal just did, the idea that she would never see this coming. The idea that he would go and get Batman to work with him.
I like how it's the exact same, but it's the reverse.
Yep.
It's just oh no, this is it from the Joker's side instead of from the Batman side.
And Batman's like, hey, I'll help, but you have to agree to confess to everything, and he lists a bunch of stuff. And he's even working with the police. Gordon even tries to apologize for arresting him. He's like, "Hey,
don't."
But Batman's like, "Hey, you know what? Maybe I did go too far. You were right to call it."
It's the sober apologies for what you did when you were drunk. It's like, I said some things I didn't mean it, and that's Batman's like, I was angry. Basically, my father figure's sick and he died, and I was in a bad place.
It's Joe. So here's the thing: so the police are going to work with them. Montoya, Bullock, and all that are getting ready to go. Let's get in the Batmobiles, and he's like, "No, wait! Don't not the cars we've got. We've got an upgrade." And then they go in, and Batman's brought his entourage of actual Batmobiles. And it's funny. I saw Murphy tweet out one of the panels that has like the '60s car, the animated series, and the original movie, the '89 movie, all in the same panel. And he's like, basically, I just wanted to draw a bunch of Batmobiles and then come up with a plot later. And I'm like, that's pretty much how I feel about this. In a good way.
I love the amorphous continuity here because it seems like it's Batman the Animated Series, but it's also its own thing. But it's
then
also
that's it. Then you throw in the '60s, you throw in the Tumblr one from the Nolans.
Yeah.
So
that's all of them. Yeah. So you have this bizarre thing of seeing Bullock and Harley Quinn, the sane one, driving in what I think was the '60s car.
Yeah.
And then Gordon's in the '89 Batmobile. It was just, such a wacky.
It's absurd, but I love it.
It's a wacky idea. So all throughout this, because the cliffhanger last time was Joker, he kind of came back for a second, and then this issue starts with him kind of fighting it back, and he's back to being Napier, and he sort of almost becomes Joker a few times, and then at the end of the issue, he is Joker, and. I did enjoy during the police station segment where he actually turns into Joker and Batman just turns and flies for him and all the cops have got their guns out. It's just immediately.
Do you know what? I love because this could have quite easily felt like a fake out because it was because that was the cliffhanger, but he fights it back.
I think for a second it did feel like a fake out to me until it started happening again, and it was like a building.
Yeah. When I realized, oh no, this is just a continuous thing that it's building, it's ramping.
Yeah, because when he first just fought it back, I was like, was that it? But then it kept coming back, and it was like, okay, right, so we're escalating it.
Yeah. Well, so do we think it is actually the medication running its course, or do we think that Joker's just he allowed himself to go under to let Napier out, and then realize that he can't exist without Batman. So now that he got kind of not that what he wanted, but the whole thing is like what Snyder hit on too is that Joker and Batman are kind of a team. They're two ends of this cord constantly tugging on each other, and one without the other, is driven to insanity, if you will, because we got that whole thing with Robin with Jason Todd. We find out that no, he didn't actually kill him, and Jason gave up Bruce's identity. But almost Joker didn't care because he only really cares about Batman and not Bruce.
Actually, on that, I will criticize. I felt it was really quick and easy because Batman just turns to him and says, "Hey, try and look into his memories and find out about that night." And then he just closes his eyes and thinks about it, and then
I think it's more he hasn't really wanted to before. He's been. I think Napier's been scared of embracing the Joker. And trying to go into that, but now it's like, well,
not sure.
Joker's
But here's my problem with it isn't the idea. My problem is that it's presented and then achieved in the same scene. It's too quick. You present the idea to me and then you achieve it immediately.
But I don't think it's supposed to be that much of a challenge.
I think if they would have seeded it a little bit more, like he can't.
Yeah, it needs to be seeded. That's what I'm saying.
Joker.
No,
Yeah,
that's fair. It just feels like I don't think it was more like, oh, he can't do it. It was more of a he doesn't really want to. It didn't feel like that much
Well,
of a
that's
challenge.
what I'm saying.
yeah,
Though it's not the
I
challenge; it's that they never
get
even
that.
mentioned he was suppressing memories or
Yeah.
anything like that before. That was never
They
brought
could have
up.
done that with
No.
Harley, where she goes, "Well, why didn't you say anything?" He's like, "Well, I can't. The stuff that I did as him, it's hazy. That's all.
Well, I mean, I think that's
line.
kind of been addressed already in the sense that he didn't even realize there was two Harleys, right? Until afterwards.
Yeah, but
I mean,
not,
you can
it's
justify all you
more
want, but in the
amorphous.
scene itself, I just went, "Oh, he can just do this now." He's having a vision of this Joker memory. I don't know. I just feel like a
I liked that scene because it plays with our expectations of Jason Todd. We know that in actual continuity, he beat him to death with the crowbar.
the actual content of the flashback I liked.
Yeah.
It was just
So-
the way it got to it just felt kind of like, oh, we can do this now.
Yeah.
I feel like a Deus Ex Machina to me. I don't know. I feel like out of nowhere.
But I like that. And then we find out that the fund that Joker, World that Napier had said was being charged to taxpayers actually was always going back to Wayne. So like he was paying for the Batman cleanup, as it were. It was hidden so well that it looked like it was going to the taxpayers. And I like that because it makes Batman just seem like he was at his lowest low during all of this because of Alfred, but he's actually never, he hasn't been out of control as we thought.
Yeah,
he was.
the people of Gotham have actually paid for his wreckage. He's always been paying his way.
Yeah, and I like that Napier, in the same way that Joker knows that, okay, it's Bruce Wayne, but he doesn't care. Napier doesn't want to use that because that's not how he wins. That's kind of just, I could just unmask him and throw him under the bus, but that does not, there's no satisfaction in that, is there? There's no victory, and it's easy, it's cheap.
Anyway, the best scene in this is easily where he talks to Batgirl and Nightwing.
His letter.
Yeah, and brings up Alfred's letter and how he can't bring himself to read it because it's the last words he's ever going to get from Alfred. And he's like, "Oh, what would I write to you two?" And he gives this speech about how he's it stopped being about fighting for his parents a long time ago. It's about fighting for them so that hopefully one day they can take off the masks. And Babs crying. I'm like, "Oh man, okay,
It's when they hug and the cape just flows out."
You're hitting my Bat family chords here. I can't not appreciate this moment,
especially because they've made Babs the heart of this book, because it's her that's been the one like, no, we can't do everything Joker's way. When Nightwing just wanted to give in because Bruce has gone out of control, she's been the level head and let's do this all. So when she breaks, I almost broke, just because it's such a nice moment.
Yeah, it is. It's great.
So they all go to Neo Joker. Joker becomes Joker, and that's kind of the cliffhanger.
Yeah, it could feel really cheap, but it's essentially the same cliffhanger of okay, he's Joker again, but because this issue
this one's for real.
Yeah, it felt like no, it deserved this. Like last time it was the shock, and then this time it's like no, we built up to this all issue.
Yeah, and you also have Batman teasing that he's gonna drop the cowl and come. Come clean with Gotham, which
I expect he will change his mind because of the events of the final issue.
Almost so.
I agree. That said, if Murphy wants to set up a sequel, I'll take more of this, and it deals with the fallout of that. Like, what is Gotham without Batman? With just Bruce Wayne operating like a Batman Inc. kind of deal.
But that's the other. So a Nightwing and Batgirl still going.
Yeah, right. And it's he's in a leader role where he's not out in the field.
Right, and they've got a very different relationship with the police now after the events of this. I could see that being a really interesting story.
Yeah, and I just I just want Murphy as Batman because I really enjoy this. Honestly, I might get the hardcover.
I would rather Murphy went back to drawing stuff that other people were writing, but
Yeah.
What
world are we living in where I want more of something Batman and you don't?
Well, that's just like I'm enjoying the schlocky aspects of this, but I've not loved this as much as you guys have. I don't think it's got the I don't need more of it, basically, but it's done. I'm happy with that.
I feel like how people feel about Dark Knight Returns and what it did with Batman. I feel this is my version of that, because this is giving me a really dynamic Batman story, and it's hitting on all the things that I like. So I'm not even mad that it turns out that he was billing himself and he's not the bad guy. So
no, I'm into that. Honestly, I think the weakest part of this book has been the middle couple issues when Napier was doing all his campaigning and it was all the political stuff. I had some serious leaps in logic as to everyone just going along with them and like how quickly they were up for it. Like That was my problem section. I liked the first couple where it started, and it was like all this sort of the initial shock. I'm liking all the schlocky action of giant freeze cannons built by Nazis. You know, like
Yeah.
when we get to all this silly stuff, I'm kind of into it. And the cartoon, the action's always been good.